Hey everybody, Kenzorth here. 1700 hours in Mortal Online 2 as a mage tamer, maybe about 200 so far as a dominator. So I'm a pet user by far, and this video is going to be kind of on the state of how pets are in Mortal Online 2, the recent update that happened, and my personal opinions and recommendations on changes that might come in the future, things that they should work on, but also too, just if you should get into the pet business right now as well, for selling them as well as just picking up taming or domination for yourself. So here we go. So basically there was a patch recently that was added and it had a whole bunch of stuff in it, but the main thing that was added was that pets can now pretty much follow you 20% faster at a flat rate speed. So I'll say that again, 20% faster when it's following you and you're like on a mount. So what this means is if you played Mortal Online 2 in the past and you were herding horses, you might have noticed that the horses that you had in tow were always behind you. But with this change, now the horses are pretty much right almost behind your horse and you're going 3 speed. So you're never going to lose them, never going to have to wait for them. This is a miracle because you would always have tamers that would try out the build and then the horses would fall behind and then they would go back to look for them and they couldn't find them. And if you opened up a GM ticket, the GM would say you left them, and sometimes they would teleport them and sometimes they wouldn't even respond because they get so many of those tickets. So that is a huge change in itself. And then next is the teleportation feature that's included when pets follow you as well. So right here I have a clip showing me crossing Sausage Lake in the game. And you will see how my Campadon, it teleports to the other side of the lake once I get to the other side. So I started that side of the lake with a Campadon all the way over there. And then right when I get over to the other side, right about here, all I do is just take a few steps, the game registers, it's stuck, and boom, teleported right over to the other side. So now, in the past, you and your friends might have had to go like around the lake, or you might have had to open up a GM ticket, and this includes like rivers, this includes very even small places for some reason that pets couldn't cross. Now, this option will kick in and it will automatically teleport the pet, because before this took a GM, now it doesn't. It's amazing. So that's probably one of the biggest changes that has happened with this update, and it is amazing. So if you play Tamer or Dominator in the past, just by this alone, it is huge in quality of life. I did test it a few times, and if you do run super far away from your pet, it will eventually come to you sometimes. Sometimes it won't, because you can still leave your pet in the dust and pretty much abandon it, but sometimes even though you get really far away from it, the 20% speed is enough for it to stay within the range when your horse stamps out, and it'll still catch up to you. My personal opinion is I think it could still get stuck, but that chance is reduced greatly, and it is very beneficial for pet users and quality of life. Next here, this is going to be going over the render distance change. Now, this basically allows you to see players from much farther away. So as you can see here, I'm very far away, but all the way over there I can see a player, but now I'm going back on my horse and I'm gonna look again, and look how far away I am, but I can see somebody way over there in the distance. Now you may ask yourself, like, why, what does this have to do with pets? Let me tell you what this has to do with pets, and it'll make sense. Seeing people from further away means, first off, they can see your pets from further away, meaning that, you know, there's a chance that whoever sees you will know that they're coming up against a tamer. But at the same time as well, if you see people and they don't happen to notice you right away, this gives you time to position your pet correctly. Because with the short render range, you would render right into the view of, like, let's say a mounted archer, and they'd be like, oh, this guy has a terror bird. All right, let me start beating up his terror bird, and he's a mounted mage, so I could just do circles around him and kind of beat up his bird, basically, you know? But now with this, you're not going to be able to see, well, I mean, you are going to be able to see them. That's the point, from further away, but you can take advantage of that as well and possibly position your pet somewhere and set up like a bait ambush. Like if I saw that person way over there, I could have maybe put my terror bird behind a house. He would have ran towards me. He could have chased me. And then I told my bird to attack him, and boom, now my bird is chasing him, and I had all this time to prepare. Because in the past, you would have a pet, and then there would be a short render range, and then they would know you have a pet right away. Your cards were shown. Next, what a big change is that now, as you can see here, this is a wolf that's following me. You see how it's keeping up with a 3-speed on a mount? It's not bad. It's not bad at all, you know? I mean, we got heavy armor on our horse, and if it was naked, we could probably still ditch this horse, or the wolf, especially if it was a desert. But all in all, though, wolves are becoming a much more viable part of people's build, and it's not necessarily a bad thing either, because with wolves in general, a few patches ago, there was a pet point reduction with them, meaning that you can basically have like 3 medium to low level wolves, and you can have 2 like decently high level wolves on foot, and possibly on a mount as well. So it's pretty strong, because even though the wolves are very squishy, they still put that pressure on somebody, and if they get high enough level, it's just enough to where it's passive damage. It can interrupt somebody, catch them off guard, especially if it's a 1v1, but they're still squishy. So my main point about talking about this is that there was a lot of pets that were very close to just being very good for tamers and dominators to use, but they were just slow as hell. And with that, nobody wanted to use them. This also includes bears to an extent, because bears are great, but, you know, sometimes they'll fall really behind in mounts. Not anymore. So if you have a bear, you ride your mount full speed, you can still have a bear travel close enough to you where if you get in a fight, your bear isn't going to be like a few kilometers back. You know, it's going to be right near you, ready to go, ready to back you up and fight. It won't be right next to you, but it's still a lot better than how it was. So to summarize what I've talked about this so far, basically you have the teleport feature. So where now if you're running horses, it's a lot easier. If you're running terror birds, if you're running like already 3-seed pets, there's not really much of a change. But if you're running the slower pets, you're going to notice that it's a lot better in quality of life now. This includes Campodons, shore prowlers, crabs, turtles. It's just a lot better to have those things and transport them around the map now. It's just such a huge quality of life thing. It's amazing. You'll notice the difference. And also, too, just to remind everybody, we have Beast Mastery that's coming up around the corner, but I'll touch on that in a second. So, yeah, we have the follow feature. We touched bases on that. We touched bases on the render distance, being able to see people further away, meaning being able to get your pet in position yourself well, decide if you're going to fight or flight. I mean, this could also not be a good thing too, just because let's say that there is a mounted archer and they see your pet. This also means that they are able to shoot at it farther away. So it is a good thing, yes, but it can also easily just as be a bad thing, because archers have the main advantage in this, because they can shoot a bow from really far away, and they're able to see really far away now. So they could really do some big long-range sniping and pick off your big old terror bird or your Campodon or whatever pet you might have, your horse, and this, and that. So just beware. But if you're a mounted archer tamer, whoo, you're going to have a fun time. If you're still a mounted mage tamer, due to the buff where it increased spell casting speed while mounted on a horse, if you didn't know about that, if you're not playing the game right now, that was about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, and man, it is has made mounted magery really strong. So mounted mage tamer, mounted archer tamer, pretty strong. Mounted archery did get kind of nerfed a while ago, though, maybe a couple weeks ago, to where, you know, now you need like controlled aiming, otherwise you're going to be moving your crosshair around like a madman on a horse. But all in all, though, yeah, the change for the render distance, I definitely approve. The feedback for it has been great all throughout the community, tamers, everybody. It just makes the world feel so much more immersive. Sure, it makes it more dangerous to an extent because, you know, friendly player, but well, at the same time, you know, friendly players can also see people coming and have a chance to run. It's just really nice, because before you just used to have people appear right on top of you, but this gives you a little bit of grace time to prepare. And yeah, the last thing that we covered already was about the wolves and just other pets being faster, making them more viable, making them more just attractive to use in general, less pain in an ass, and it's really great. So now to continue about the future, we still definitely need, Beast Mastery is on its way pretty much. And Beast Mastery is going to be cool because, just to talk about it, it's going to be strong. However, it's going to punish you as well if you suck at it. So I don't really know how it's going to be laid out, but pretty much, let's say that you cast a Beast Mastery spell on somebody and let's say you miss. Your pet might freak out, it might get damaged, it might lose loyalty, something negative will happen towards your pet. So this is cool because this is going to make the pet-based class kind of more towards the skill based rather than just pushing a few buttons and stuff. For some people saying pushing one button. So this is going to be great. I think it's a wonderful change. I'm really excited about it. So, and it's really around the corner too, everybody. It's maybe about a month to 2 months away. I don't know. I just know it's going to be a part of the update after next. We're probably going to get the MK sewers too. The next dungeon, get some little minor polishing. But then after that, it's supposed to be the big one. You know, that's supposed to be when Beast Mastery comes out. And that's going to be a fun time, I'll tell you. So that's all around the corner. And then in the future too, we will get pet armor. I assume that will be coming sometime whenever it's ready. I'm sure they have to do a lot of work with the animation and stuff like that for different armor for different pets. And I'm not even guessing that all armor will come out right away. But I will tell you, if you're kind of like looking for a niche profession and you're not really sure what to do and you want to stick out, I will tell you that possibly certain pet specialty armor crafting will be attractive. Because imagine, you know, you get a terror bird and you put some steel armor on it, you know, like it's going to be worth the money, because a terror bird, you know, depending where you take it, it could cost 100 gold. And let's say armor is like 300 gold, but the terror bird survives like 90% longer or something like that. So you don't have to replace as many terror birds. You know, it'll pay for itself. It'll keep people alive safer. So that'll be an upcoming profession in itself too, which I think will be really cool. The pet crafting thing will get buffed over time as well when the new pets, the new armor, things like that come out. And then the next will be so we have, Beast Mastery. We have the pet armor. And then lastly, which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest buffs you can possibly have, even though it's supposed to be completely normal and a part of the game from day one. Well, maybe it wasn't announced, but still, it's going to be just the land mesh. What I mean by that is, right now, if you tell a pet to attack somebody in a house, it's not going to do that. That will actually come in with Beast Mastery, I believe. When Beast Mastery comes out, that change is also going to be implemented. If I'm wrong about that, it's still pretty much coming up. It's right around the corner. That's going to be huge. But in general, what I'm talking about is just like the pet being able to also be able to go through just track through things like cross water and different things like that easily, more efficiently, chase people in the houses, chase people into water, because right now houses and water like are a pet's worst nightmare. Besides a ranged pet can do okay if somebody runs into the water, but you know, for the most part, though, yeah, it still screws over Tamers if somebody runs into the water or the house. What this is going to do is it's going to give Tamers an all-around buff, because now if you tell your pet to attack a target, it is going to find them and it is going to chase them down and kill them. More than likely, too, if it chases somebody in a house, you can log out next to the house, maybe right outside of it, even if they close the door on your pet, and you'll be able to teleport your pet outside. That sounds a little busted, but you know, I mean, I'm sure they'll fix it maybe in time or not, but still, that's just an idea. But on top of that, though, it's going to be really cool just because for some people, you have no idea how long the Tamers and Dominators have suffered when it comes to things like that. And as well as general people that use horses and bring them in the strongholds. This will be nice for you as well, because you'll be able to call your horse and it'll come right into the stronghold. No longer will things get stuck, which will be great. But at the same time, though, this will also be, in a way, a nerf towards Tamers as well. And what I mean by that is that at the moment, most people know this, all right? You, in order to level up your pet, do you tell it to attack a dummy? No. That's what new experienced people do. You know, new players do, or people that don't know. What you do is you tell your pet to attack a guard in a town where the pet cannot actually physically harm the guard, so it stays in combat mode. Or you tell the pet to attack your horse or something that's so far away from it that it can't possibly hurt it. It can't chase it because it gets stuck. I get it that some people call this an exploit. I understand. I will quit promoting it if a GM or somebody tells me to quit promoting it or whatever, but pretty much everybody says, like, this is how they do it, and I get it. It's like pet leveling takes forever to level up, to min-max your pets. And once this land mesh is fixed and pets are able to track and hunt their target down, we're no longer going to have this option. We might in some situations, maybe. Like telling a pet to attack a guard that's way on top of a tower, it still might be able to work. But in general, though, it's going to make leveling up pets personally in a stronghold or certain situations much rougher. So just get ready for that, folks, because when this finally does get fixed, yes, it will be great that pets can finally chase people in strongholds or in the water, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot rougher to just tell your pet to attack something and stay in combat mode and gain experience. So that's about it for the upcoming things, and I'm really excited about pets. I do want to emphasize on some things now. One of the main things is, Henrik, if you're listening to this, or anybody in the community, you know, I do not want pets to be OP. I do not want them to be like the meta. I want them to be something fun for people to play that rewards skill, rewards commitment, understanding about the pets, and also creativeness with ambushing targets and stuff like that. You know, I never want this to be like a game where just magic and pets just dominate everything, because the foot fighters at the end, they're the heart and soul of this game. I hope that we get some really cool stuff coming in for them, maybe even for our archers with fire arrows, frost arrows, poison arrows, magic arrows, something cool like that, you know. And as well as getting some fist weapons coming in eventually, some special knockdown moves, finisher moves for the melee, something cool like that, you know. I'm really looking forward to that stuff as well. And so that's why I want to say, just with caution, you know, like, yes, like, do your best to balance things out, you know, and just really just ask Tamers and get feedback from the community about the state of pets and see if they really are OP or if they're not. In my opinion, I believe in some certain situations they definitely can be, quote, OP, depending on the tamer and how they're using it, especially if there's a Zerga pets. However, though, individually, I still believe that pets can be countered to a degree depending on the certain situation. Of course, if you have a 120, like a 117 Tagmadon in a dungeon and you're telling it to attack a steel foot fighter and you're a steel foot fighter yourself using a sword, you're kind of screwed. You know, that person's kind of screwed. They're going to go down. However, if there's maybe two of them and they're both fast Velas and they can jump and hop around and kite a little bit, then maybe they could pull something off. 3 of them? Possibly. 4 of them? Definitely. You know, there's strategies. And people just need to practice and start getting in that mindset of getting ready, because pets are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you're not taking the time to talk with your tamer or your dominator and say, hey, how do I defend myself against this terror bird? How do I defend myself against the turtle? How do I defend myself against a Campadon? You know, and you're not taking the time to learn that, then once armor, beast mastery, and all this comes in, you're just going to look at pets like as being like gods. And when in reality, they could just be really good, you know, or just good in general if you practice. So I encourage everybody to make sure that you learn, make sure you practice. You're welcome to ask me. I might start charging, though, because a lot of people are finding my services very valuable, because I teach people how to defend themselves against pets, countermeasures, things like that. There are plenty of ways. Another thing that I would like to consider and see as well is possibly making animal care a secondary. That is a secondary under domestication. That is a secondary under taming or domination, perhaps, because it just takes really long to level up pets in general. And the stronger the pets are, yes, it's better overall for us. And I just think it would be cool as an extra perk. We can level up horses faster. We can level up pets faster, just by secondary having the animal care ability and not putting a lot of points into it. Yes, it would be a little extra bonus, but in the end, I just think it would be really nice quality of life thing that would make people's lives easier if they're a casual player trying to play Tamer. Another thing too is possibly the veterinary skill being a secondary as well. I know in the future you have plans for the master skills, or what it's called. It's basically the veteran skill system. So maybe that's when things will start making sense. But if veterinary was a secondary, that would be cool, because it would give people time to just mess with additional tamer builds and stuff as well. But like I said, though, I appreciate everything that that you guys are doing, the team is doing, that you're doing, Hendrik. Thank you for the game. It's really fun. I'm having a great time with it. And everybody else, too, I wish you all the best with your Mortal Online 2 experiences. I do have some general tips I might make a video for as well, because, you know, this game isn't for everybody, but there's some things that I see a lot of people doing that I think are taking away from their play experience and stuff. So I might make a video on that and give some general tips and stuff. So anyways, shorter video than the last one, but I hope it made sense. I hope it was some good information. So yes, definitely check out Taming and Domination. It is pretty strong. There were some cool new pets that were added in recently a little bit ago. I'll let you do your homework to figure out what those are. Check out the Mortal Online 2 Discord if you're not in it. Just look it up on Google or something, the official Discord. And yeah, you could always check out the Screenshots channel and search for pets or search for things like that that might have been added recently into the game. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop by my Twitch when I do stream. Ask me questions about anything. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about ritualism as well, so I might be able to answer questions for that. However, yeah, I don't know too much about it still. But in general, pets are looking good. They're looking strong. So make sure you do your due diligence. Try and practice. Try and learn. And yes, like I do agree, it's not for everybody, of course. And there's still a time investment and commitment towards getting pets and using them. The frustration that comes, but the sun is shining through the clouds soon. It is already peeking through, and pretty soon it's going to be wonderful for Tamers and Dominators. I think we'll be at a great state in the game where the only thing that will be added in the future at that point will just be new pets and new creatures and new additions to like armor and stuff for them. And that will be the glory golden time of pets. That's what will come. So anyways, have a good one. Have a nice one. And yeah, I'm in GK right now. I'm fishing. I'm supposed to do some turtle delivery missions up here. And yeah, I haven't really caught a turtle this entire rant, so it's been kind of rough. I think it's the rain. So yeah, have a good one. Talk to you soon. Oh, and one more thing. I forgot to say this, but let's get lanterns on horses, please. Or lanterns that we're able to put on bears or something like that. Even if it takes up a bag slot, possibly that would be cool. If not, that would be cool as well. But I know you're probably going to add illusion I don't know, magic that glows up an area or something. But all I know is that it would be a huge quality of life feature that I think would be really interesting to see. You know, if you could buy like a lantern slot or a torch slot for your horse, so you can have hands free and see in the dark while you're killing spiders in the cave and stuff like that. Anyways, that was the last thing. So talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.